What if the happiest day of your life became the day you exposed every dark secret your family tried to hide? This is the story of a bride who turned her wedding into the ultimate revenge and left her parents in shame forever. The night before my wedding was supposed to be a time of joy. Most brides spend that evening smiling, feeling nervous, maybe sipping on a glass of champagne, thinking about the big day ahead. But not me. Instead of excitement, I stood in my parents' living room under the harsh white glow of the chandelier. My wedding dress, still in its bag, hung carefully on the couch like it was waiting for me. But I was not the one being celebrated. I was the target. My mother circled me slowly, her high heels clicking loudly against the wooden floor. Each step sounded like a reminder, she was in charge here. She wasn't walking like a loving mother. She was circling me like a hunter circles prey. In the corner of the room, my younger sister Rachel sat with her phone in her hand. A smirk pulled at her lips as she scrolled. She didn't need to say anything. Her eyes said it all, she was enjoying my humiliation. My mother stopped in front of me. She grabbed my chin roughly, her nails digging into my skin. "Hold your head up," she ordered. Her grip was so hard I knew it would leave marks. "Tomorrow, everyone will see you standing next to Rachel. Do you understand how embarrassing that is for me? For this family? Look at you. Plain. Weak. Nothing." My voice trembled, but I tried to defend myself. "I'm marrying Daniel. That should be enough." Her laugh was sharp and cruel, cutting through me like glass. "Enough? You will never be enough." Then, without warning, she lifted her heel, a red, pointed shoe polished to shine, and swung it across my cheek. The sound cracked through the room. My head snapped to the side as pain burned through my skin. I stumbled backward, clutching my face, and tasted blood before I even saw it. Rachel gasped, but not out of shock or concern. She leaned forward, smiling, as if this was entertainment. My mother hit me again. This time, the heel struck my brow. I cried out as blood ran down the side of my face. "Now you'll look uglier than your sister," she screamed, her voice echoing through the house. "You hear me? Uglier. You won't take her light." I pressed my hand against my wound, shaking. My reflection in the hallway mirror caught my eye. Makeup smeared, blood dripping, eyes swollen. I looked like a stranger, a broken stranger. And then, from the kitchen doorway, came the sound I feared most. My father's laugh. He leaned against the frame, holding a beer, watching me like it was a show made for him. He smirked. Finally, he said coldly, "You shine like leather." The words cut deeper than the wounds. My own father grinning while I bled on the living room floor. Rachel stood up, her heels tapping like applause. "She looks better this way," she whispered. I wanted to scream. I wanted to fight back. I wanted to grab the lamp nearby and smash it across their cruel faces. But my body didn't move. My knees shook. My heart pounded like a drum. Mom stepped closer. Her hot breath brushed against my face. "Tomorrow, you'll walk down that aisle, and no one will look at you. They'll see Rachel. They'll see perfection. You'll be the shadow. Just like you always were." My father raised his beer high in a mock toast. "To the ugliest bride this town has ever seen." Their laughter filled the room, thick and choking. That night, I locked myself in my childhood bedroom. I pressed tissues against my face, but the blood wouldn't stop. My eye was swollen, purple already forming. My brow was cut open. Each time I changed the tissue, it turned red in seconds. Through the thin walls, I could hear them. My mother laughing with Rachel about how desperate girls will marry anyone. My father drinking with my uncles like nothing had happened. That house sounded normal, but to me, it felt like a knife twisting deeper. I wanted to call Daniel. I wanted to tell him everything. I wanted him to take me away. My hand hovered over the phone again and again. But fear stopped me. What if he didn't believe me? What if he thought I was exaggerating? What if he thought I was the problem, the way my family had trained everyone to think? So I stayed silent, staring at my bruised face in the mirror, hearing my mother's cruel scream in my head. Now you'll look uglier than your sister. Hearing my father's mocking words. Finally, you shine like leather. Silence filled me. But it wasn't weakness anymore. That silence sharpened me. It was turning into something new. The next morning, the house buzzed with wedding preparations. Flowers arrived. Caterers called. Rachel strutted around in a silk robe, acting like it was her wedding day. I stayed upstairs, covering my face with makeup. Every brush stroke burned. My bruises showed through no matter how much powder I used. Mom barged into my room without knocking. Her heels clacked as she circled me again. She tilted my chin. "Better," she muttered. "The ugliness suits you. Daniel won't notice. He's blinded by pity." She sprayed perfume into the air. "Don't screw this up." Then she left. I sat frozen. But in my chest, the seed had already taken root. They thought silence was obedience. But silence was power waiting to explode. That afternoon, I slipped into Dad's study. The room smelled like cigars and arrogance. His laptop sat open. His passwords were written on sticky notes, because he thought no one dared to snoop. But I dared. I opened his emails. His financial statements. And there it was. Proof of everything I had suspected. Secret bank accounts. Money stolen from his company. Lies to his partners. Hidden affairs disguised as business trips. My hands trembled, not with fear, but with excitement. For the first time, I had power. Later, I grabbed Rachel's phone while it charged. I scrolled through her texts. Her cruel words were right there. "She'll look like a clown at the altar." Mom made sure. Screenshot. Saved. Every bruise. Every insult. Every laugh they had stolen from me, now I had their own words as weapons. That night, Daniel came to see me. His eyes widened when he noticed my swollen face. "What happened?" he whispered. I shook my head. "Tomorrow," I said, my voice stronger than it had ever been. "Tomorrow, you'll see everything." Because my wedding day wasn't going to be just about vows anymore. It was going to be justice. The next day, the church glowed with flowers and sunlight. Guests filled the pews, whispering, waiting for me. To them, it was just a wedding. To me, it was the stage of my life. I stood behind the doors in my gown. Makeup covered some of the bruises, but not all. And I didn't care. I wanted people to see. I wanted them to know. The music started. I walked slowly down the aisle. My parents sat in the front row. Mom dabbed fake tears. Dad puffed his chest. Rachel smirked like she was the true bride. When I reached the altar, I took Daniel's hand. He looked at me, searching for answers. I squeezed his hand, steady. Then I turned to the crowd. "Before we begin," I said loudly, "there's something you all need to see." Gasps filled the church. My mother's head snapped up. Dad's smirk disappeared. Rachel froze. I lifted the small remote hidden in my bouquet. The screen above the altar flickered. First appeared a photo of me, bruised and bleeding the night before. The room erupted with whispers. Then came Rachel's texts. "She'll look like a clown." Mom made sure. Gasps. Heads turned. Rachel's face turned pale. Then came Dad's emails. His secret accounts. His lies. His cheating. Then Mom's mocking emails. Insults about her friends, neighbors, even some guests in the room. And finally, the recording. From the speakers, my mother's scream filled the church. "Now you'll look uglier than your sister." Then Dad's laugh. "Finally, you shine like leather." The silence that followed was heavy. Every eye turned toward my parents and Rachel. Mom jumped up, face red. "She's lying," she screamed. But her voice, the very voice from the recording, betrayed her. Dad clenched his fists, but people were already whispering. "Disgusting monsters." His colleagues glared. His reputation shattered. Rachel sobbed, clutching her phone. It was just a joke. But her friends pulled away, cold. I stepped forward. "You tried to destroy me the night before my wedding. You tried to humiliate me. But today, you answer for it. On your knees." The room froze. My parents stared. Dad hissed, "Never." But the crowd began to murmur. "Apologize. Do it." The weight of the church pressed down on them. Finally, my father's knees hit the floor. My mother followed, sobbing. Rachel collapsed beside them. I looked down at them, trembling and broken. "You wanted me uglier," I said coldly. "Now you are the ones covered in shame. You wanted me to shine like leather. Shine now. Let them all see what you really are." The guests turned away from them. Their empire of lies was destroyed. I turned to Daniel. Tears filled my eyes, but my voice was steady. "Now we can begin." The applause that filled the church wasn't for my family. It was for me. For the daughter who refused to stay silent. For the bride who turned pain into power. From that day, nothing was ever the same. My parents lost everything. Dad's company dropped him. His colleagues refused to work with him. The bank accounts he thought were hidden became public scandal. Mom's friends cut her off. She became the woman everyone whispered about in grocery stores. Rachel's friends abandoned her, leaving her alone with her jealousy. They lived with shame every day. People avoided them. Invitations stopped coming. They became ghosts in their own town, walking shadows of their former pride. But me? I built something new. Daniel and I moved far away. For the first time in my life, I felt free. Free from their voices. Free from their control. The first weeks weren't easy. I woke up some nights shaking, hearing echoes of my mother's scream or my father's laugh. But Daniel held me. He reminded me I wasn't that broken girl anymore. Slowly, I healed. I studied. I worked hard. Daniel and I built a home filled with warmth, laughter, and peace, the kind of home I never had growing up. Every step forward was power. Every smile was victory. Because revenge wasn't just about destroying them. It was about building myself. It was about proving that their cruelty couldn't define me. And while they lived in shame, hiding from the world they once ruled, I walked into a new life, not as their shadow, but as myself. Strong. Free. And finally loved. Please like and subscribe for more videos, also comment where you're watching from.